What's going on, guys? Bexio back, and today we got a brand new video with Plug Power talking about where it might go by the end of the year with the stock price, because it would make sense for it to go up and down, but there is one way that is more likely to happen from everything that we're seeing right now. But if you are not subscribed, make sure you smash that sub button because we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. But let's hop right into this video. The first thing to look at is the wash rule sale. This is something that a lot of stocks are dealing with right now. A lot of stocks that if they had huge runs and then collapse, doing all this stuff. The wash rule sale basically says it's to prevent a taxpayer from taking a tax deduction from a security sold in a wash sale. The rule defines a wash sale that occurs when an individual sells or trades a security at a loss and within 30 days before or after the sale buys a substantially identical stock or security or acquires a contract or option to do so. Basically, if you have a stock and it goes down by $10, so you buy one stock at $20, it goes to $10, you sell it to lock in a $10 loss so you can write it off on your taxes, and then if you buy it back, that same stock, so you'd have to buy one stock, before 30 days passes, it's a wash sale, and you're no longer allowed to sell the losses that you tried to lock in. So right now is when we're kind of seeing that in a lot of stocks prices and things like that. So Plug is one where I don't know if we can say a wash sale is going to happen with Plug. We would see it this month so that they could sell around now and then buy back at the beginning of the year of January so that they can wait the 30 days and buy back at the beginning of the year. But there's also things where we might see downward pressure because of hedge funds and any investors and things, but mostly hedge funds from this like run up we're seeing right here from $23 to $44. That's almost doubling in price. And if we see that happen, we could see downward moves in Plug from hedge funds locking in profits before the year ends, which I don't think they would have to follow the wash rule to lock in profits and then rebuy the stock. I think they could just lock in profits, rebuy the stock the next day because it's locking in gains. They're going to have to pay taxes on it. But the reason they would do that is because they'll lock in those gains for their customers, and then they can show them, we made all this money. That's why you pay us our fee, and then collect their fee and doing all that types of stuff. So it makes sense for Plug to see this kind of downward move in price strictly because of what hedge funds are going to sell off to try and lock in profits to make the fees that they charge their customers seem like it's worth it when, I mean, you could just do it yourself. But the hedge funds are going to be playing that game. So with that happening with Plug, I think it makes a lot of sense for the stock to kind of trade sideways into the end of the year till December or January, beginning of January, just because there's going to be that selling pressure from hedge funds to lock in profits to charge the fees for their customers. But there's also not going to be anybody using it for a wash sale, which would mean, everyone would be selling and it would be dumping the price. I don't think that's going to happen at all. And we can even see that it's not really happening. So this is the hedge fund activity for Plug for the last quarter. They bought 405,000 shares. And I think that they'll still probably lock in profits because they're amazing. Double your money and being able to lock that in is great. But we saw kind of this run up from hedge funds buying in like 4.2 million, 4 million, 2.9 million, 2.1 million, and buying these shares up. And then it kind of got up here. And then you see them selling their shares to lock in the profits, all of that good stuff. And then you see, obviously, they start buying back in the end of March, beginning of April here. And that's kind of when we see this bottom. And then it just starts to trend up from there. You see the line. If you just looked at this as like a bar graph, they went down and bottomed out here, and then they're starting to rise back up with buying shares. So they were buying shares, obviously, a lot in September 30th. The price was $25, so they've made substantial money. Would not surprise me to see them selling off those gains to lock them in, to charge profits or to charge fees for their profits, and going from there. If the wash sale applies, they would do it within this month to buy back in the beginning of the year. If it doesn't, they'll probably start buying back next month. But that's why a lot of this makes sense for Plug to kind of trade sideways into next year and then start to make its move probably up if hedge funds continue to start buying in again. And even looking at insiders, they're buying in. They have not sold anything since this last sell, June 2021. So it's been a long time since they sold any shares from insiders, but they were buying tons back in June and July. And we just had another flash of someone buying at 40 in October, around $41. So they're already up on that. But insiders are bullish on Plug. They're the ones who have the most information to Plug, who are being able to be directly involved in the company. So when insiders are buying, it's usually a good sign that they believe in what they're doing. They believe the company is going to grow, hit their numbers that they say they're going to hit, and have good outlook for the future. If they were selling, then obviously they would be more bearish on the numbers not being able to be hit or the growth of the company not being able to actually happen. So seeing this buying is a good sign. Hedge funds starting to buy back in again. Insiders starting to buy back in with no sales going through. All of this massively good signs, massively bullish signs for Plug to continue its move upwards. By the end of the year, though, who knows exactly? It would not surprise me for Plug to be around this $45 level by the end of the year, kind of trading sideways. But it also wouldn't surprise me for it to really explode in value and be hitting like $50. But I don't think it would have much downside because the wash sale rule doesn't really apply to Plug right here. And even analysts, extremely bullish. The average analyst target for Plug has gone up. It is now $48, almost $49, or it's $48.29, but a lot of it's coming in at near that $49 as well. So there's going to be a lot of growth from the analysts are expecting and starting to get in this. Nobody has it as a sell, 13 buys, 4 holds. And if we scroll down, we can see somebody has it as a hold with their price target of $35, but they're not saying to sell. So 20% downside, and they are willing to hold it. Doesn't make much sense. So I mean, I think they're even bullish, and they can't come up with a reason to sell the stock, but so they'll just say to hold. They don't believe the stock's going up in price. That doesn't make any sense to me. But right here, $48 is the average. So let's say this price target. I mean, it's a 12-month price target, but it wouldn't be crazy by the end of the year for Plug to be around this $48 mark. If it continues to move forward, we continue to see growth, good news coming out about Plug. There's been lots of good news. They're building out plants, building out headquarters, just expanding on all fronts. You see the hedge funds completely buying in, starting to buy back in again. Insiders, no selling since June, massively starting to buy back in again. Or not massively, but they're starting to buy back in again. So this price target, Plug is a stock that can move very, very fast. It would not surprise me. End of the year, $48. It would surprise me to see Plug being down under $40 would be a big surprise by the end of the year, because I don't think the wash rule really applies to Plug in this instance, but the locking in of profits does. So a super downside move, I think, is out of the question. But being sideways, being at this 43, even $40 to $45, I would say is trading sideways for Plug. And if it's in that range by the end of the year, that probably means hedge funds were taking profits, locking them in, and showing them to customers to charge them the fees, as well as it was still bullish enough where people were buying into Plug stock because they believe in the company and all of that good stuff. So sideways action is what I would expect. And even a bigger way to look at kind of these analyst stuff, you can see like the greens are upgrades. Morgan Stanley, Piper Sandler, Barclays, they've upgraded their price target, which is still under, but they have it at that types of stuff. But when you look at the other ones, like this person was a buy and they went down to a hold, and they moved their price target from $69 to $31. But if Plug is trading at $43 and you think it's going to be at 31, wouldn't you be a sell, not a hold? That doesn't make much sense to me. All of these kind of have the same thing. This one doesn't even have a price target, but downgraded to a hold. So it's kind of weird to see analysts coming out saying it's a hold, but they think it's going to go down 10%, 20% in value. I don't think that's a hold. But Plug Power has a lot of good things going for it. Just the end of the year moves seem like they're going to be choppy, like we've said over and over again. Hedge funds, they moved the price a lot. We saw in that chart that when hedge funds started buying in heavy, the price skyrocketed. They started selling because of those skyrockets to lock in the profits. The price went down. Then they started buying again. The price is going up. They're just managing a lot of money. That's what happens. So end of the year choppy, but 2022 plug growth still looks very good. If they continue to hit their numbers, continue to have good earnings, I think that it's going to be a really good year for plug, just like this last year was. That's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. See you guys in my next